would like to thank our amazing sponsors, Touring Plans Travel. Their destination specialists work with you to plan and book your trip, whether you're traveling to a theme park, headed out on a cruise, or wanting to get away anywhere in the world. As experts in smart travel, their agents suggest the best itineraries and activities to fit your family's needs and handle all the reservations on your behalf. There is no cost to you or your family when using Touring Plans Travel services, and you may even save some money if discounts become available after booking. So head over to touringplans.com/travel and tell them Rope Drop Radio sent you. Now, on to the show.
Helping you navigate the Disney parks.
With the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.
You're listening to Rope Drop Radio.
Welcome to another Rope Drop Radio. Derek and Doug talking all things Disney. And Doug, this week we're talking about the best months to go to Walt Disney World, because I realized something the other day. I have actually been to Walt Disney World every single month of the year.
Wow, you have?
I have.
That's exciting. I have too.
Yeah, there we go. So that's why I was like, hey, we should talk about this. And that is what we're going to be discussing, because people have some favorite months. They have some ones they don't like. We're going to kind of go pros and cons of each one so you can make a decision.
The buzzword, Derek, is best and worst of each month.
Okay, there you go.
Best and worst. People like the best and worst, not pro and con.
Okay, I like that.
So last year.
Okay, wow. Welcome to 2023, Derek. Anyway, also welcome some new Patreons, Jeremy Wilson and Nicole Repinski. Thank you. Yeah, I nailed it. So thank you guys so much for joining the Rope Drop Radio community, helping the show out, getting the after show. For our higher up level members, we actually did a live yesterday. So if you want to be a part of that, you're going to have to go into the show notes and become a supporter of the show.
That's right. Good times with the old patrons. Also, just a reminder, we'll be in the Magic Kingdom on May 30th. So if you are looking to plan a trip to the Magic Kingdom or to Walt Disney World, check out our travel partner, Touring Plans Travel, touringplans.com/travel. Tell them Rope Drop sent you. Come down, hang out with us. Or if you really want to spend a lot of time with us, book yourself a cabin on the Star Cruiser on May 31st.
Yes.
There's still rooms available.
Yeah.
We'll be cruising the stars.
You can join us, and we will dress up. I don't know what yet, but we will.
Yeah, I will minimally dress up. Derek will maybe
I don't know
yet.
Body
paint.
Haven't figured it out yet. Twilight, there you go. Get the...
You should. I'm not.
You support me in that?
I would take lots of pictures.
Oh, you would. There you go.
Make lots of comments.
How many Patreons would we gain if I did that?
Not enough to make it worth it, Derek.
There you go.
Not enough to make it worth it. All right, Apple Podcast review time. You leave a 5-star review. We read it on air. That's the deal. Eventually, though, we're months behind because you guys are fabulous in leaving reviews.
Yes, keep doing it.
All right, this one's short and sweet. Great info. 5 stars by Zippertiff. I think that's it. All right. Yep. This podcast has been a wealth of information and help in planning my upcoming Disney World trip. I'm going to say they've probably already been on that trip, so hopefully it was great.
Hopefully it was great. Yeah, let us know.
Yeah.
And thank you for leaving the review, and keep doing that, guys. We love reading them on air, and that helps support and get the show out there. So one question we do get quite a bit is, of course, when do you want to go? Best month. In fact, today, as we record, is National Book a Vacation Day.
Yes.
So happy... That to all of you listeners.
You know, most vacations get booked in January. So basically the last day of January, if you haven't thought about what you're doing this year,
you gotta get on it.
Ticket.
Let's go.
Some things are filling up. You got to go make sure that Pop Century preferred pool view room is still available.
That's true. So yes.
What month should you go?
That is what we're going to be talking about. So I think we're going to go month by month and discuss them. And in fact, I want everyone to go on social media at Rope Drop Radio and help us discuss this as well. So we are going to go best and worst. And I'm going to start, Doug, and we're going to go with January, the month that we are in. Does this show come out in February?
Yeah, this does come out in February.
So
it's literally February in hours from when we're recording.
That's true. Good point.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So yes, last month, why we didn't go. In fact, this is the first January in about 7 or 8 years that I've not gone to Walt Disney World, Doug.
Wow. Yeah. And then after we go through all the months, we're going to give like our best and worst for weather, crowds, atmosphere, just to sum it up with our favorites. So January, some of the best things about January, it's not freakishly hot.
Yeah.
Right?
That nailed it.
You're not going to melt into a puddle of goo on the
I
sidewalk.
have to bring a jacket or a sweatshirt sometimes in the morning for rope drop.
However, on the flip side, Derek, one of the worst things about January, you had a trip where you literally froze to death.
I did. And the Skyliner froze. Like, we couldn't even go on the Skyliner. That rarely happens, so don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid of January.
There was the worst rope drop where I was like, oh, it's 40 degrees outside, and I only packed shorts.
And it was windy too when you were there.
Cold.
So weather can have a big impact on your trip. So January is both the best and the worst for weather.
It is.
So I don't say go in January because of the weather. It's just you went in January and you get weather.
Where we live, most of the time it is better in Florida in January.
Yeah. It's just, even though it's going to be warmer there, but for some reason, like a really cold day in Florida hits harder than a cold day in the Midwest. I don't know.
Because you want it to be warmer. You're on vacation. I get it.
You want the Instagram post to really make people
jealous. Yeah.
Like, I want to be in flip-flops and shorts, and like you are bundled up shoveling snow. Just saying. So January also has a big event.
Run Disney. Yep.
Yes. Marathon weekend, which is usually the first full weekend in January after the New Year's. So that's huge event. It draws lots of people. So if you want to do a Run Disney event, that's a best thing. That's a best of.
Good time to go.
However, if you're not planning on running and you want to have no hiccups in getting around the parks, like travel disrupted because roads are closed for a marathon, lanes in a park closed because of a marathon, you don't like watching fit people walk around with 5 medals clinging on their necks the day after a marathon, then it's not for you.
Yeah.
Like it's overwhelming. A lot of people, and they all walk around with their medals. And when you have a medal, it's very cool. When you don't have a medal,
we need to do that sometime.
We got to figure out when a rope drop running club thing's going to happen. We'll get on it someday, folks.
Yep.
But so that's another thing that I'd say is a best and a worst depending on your perspective.
Mm-hmm.
January, crowds-wise, for the most part, outside of the New Year's holiday, right? That's insane. That's the worst crowds. But you're out of school. The other weeks, other than one little thing, are pretty good crowd-wise. You've experienced that.
Oh, yeah. We go that's why we go every year. And this is the first year, and it's hard because low crowds, it gets us away from we pull our kids out of school. It's one of those times where I feel like, hey, it's great. Pull your kids out of school and go down there if they can afford to do that. And we're able to accomplish a lot. Also as one of my favorite festivals, if not my favorite festival, Doug. Festival of the Arts.
That's right. Festival of the Arts at Epcot runs most of January, and it's fantastic. One caveat to the crowd. Here's the asterisk. Everything we say is going to have an asterisk. Martin Luther King weekend. That can see some crowds. Because you have that one day out of school, people jump on that, and that's when they go in January. But Martin Luther King weekend is still going to be not bad in the grand scheme of crowds at Disney World. Still going to be on the lower side of the spectrum, in my opinion. So January, once New Year's is over, great crowds. Run Disney creates crowds, but not necessarily longer lines because they're all busy running, going to bed early, and eating pasta.
Oh, so don't go to Tony's in January.
No,
got it.
You won't. You know what's really hard to get is any Italian restaurant or like Via Napoli. Very difficult to get into. It's pretty funny actually, and like long lines at the food courts that do your own pasta.
Okay.
So. One time we did the Party in the Park pasta party that they do during Run Disney in Epcot. I don't know if that's back post-COVID or not, but that was interesting. So lots of pasta options for all the runners to carbo load.
Okay. That's where we're going to have to... you know what? I'm good at that part of it. I'm not good at the running afterwards, but I'm good at the carbo loading. One negative thing that I've had with going in January so often is there's a lot of refurbs happening.
Yes. You read my mind.
Oh, yay.
It is refurb season.
Understatement.
Yeah, it is the number one time that they're going to close something down, give it a fresh coat of paint, replace some carpet, maintenance, make sure all the animatronics are working. And the reason it is because that New Year's thing we mentioned, the busiest week of the year is Christmas to New Year's. They want everything open and running for that.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not going to have anything down from like Thanksgiving to New Year's. Because they got to deal with
a lot of wear and tear during that time.
Yeah.
So shut down. Yep.
Don't be disappointed. So Splash Mountain closed for a little while right now to turn into Tiana's, but it was always down in January because who's going to ride it in the cold? Same thing with Cali River Rapids at Animal Kingdom. It's going to be down, but you didn't want to go on it anyway. Trust us. Yeah.
There you go.
I think that's something to be aware of.
That is. So do we want to move on to February?
That seems logical.
Okay. Next month up, the one we're in, February. Why should you go right now?
Crowds are good.
They are. They're great. They're low.
Low crowds.
First week of February, I've done quite a bit.
There is one crowd asterisk with February, and that is President's Day.
Oh, I was hoping you'd say Valentine's Day, like everyone's going on a date at Epcot.
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, I don't think so. Couple weird things crowd-wise in February. You have President's Day, which is technically a peak season. So unlike Martin Luther King, where it's a little bump, this one's a big bump. And Run Disney strikes right there again, too, with the Princess. So it's usually right around it, maybe even the same weekend, depends on the year. So you get those crazy runners again. I've been a crazy runner before. When I say that, I say it with love and affection, folks. I'm not making fun of running at all. I have done the Princess Half Marathon, so it was fantastic. Weather in February, a little more predictable than January. It's still cool, but you're not going to get those cold days like Derek had.
Yep.
Do you agree? You've done February a lot too,
I have.
right?
I love February. It's also one of my favorite months to go. Get away from the cold in Nebraska and enjoy some Walt Disney World. Pull the kids out of school if you can. Though now you're making me think, should I do that for Valentine's Day sometime?
Yeah, and you know what other day is really good in the parks, especially the evening? Super Bowl Sunday. You've done that.
Oh my gosh, that was one of the best experiences in my life. Super Bowl Sunday, it was empty. It was, in fact, ironically, the Eagles won when I was there, and now they're playing again.
Well, they're going to lose because you're not in the Magic Kingdom. So
good point. Yeah, go Chiefs. There you go.
Go Chiefs.
But yeah, that was probably one of the best experiences ever with the lowest crowds I've ever seen, even lower than the pandemic.
I think I remember trying to tell you, Derek, it's going to be great. And you're like, what? You're crazy. I don't think you believe me, did you? This was a while ago.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it was 5 years ago, right? 6 years ago. So, yeah, that Super Bowl Sunday is fantastic. The other variable in January, so you got a good day in Super Bowl Sunday. You have a busy weekend in President's Weekend / Princess Half Marathon. The other thing that moves around the calendar and usually falls in February, I'm not an expert on it by any means because my calendar struggle, is Mardi Gras. So Mardi Gras, if you want to pick up a Louisianan accent, you go
to Universal Studios.
Well, or Disney World.
Okay.
I've been there during Mardi Gras. And so I think the whole state of Louisiana is just out of school that week.
That makes sense.
And so they all come to Disney World. I think all of them.
Yep.
They're always there. And it's amazing. They're great, friendly people. You chat with them in line and you come home with an accent. So that's it, but it does impact the crowds.
Yep.
So President's Weekend, so President's Day this year in 2023 is the 20th. I believe Mardi Gras is the 21st.
Oh,
so
that's gonna be a busy
this
time
is one
to
of
go.
those days, you watch a lake with some waves and boats going around. You have regular waves, and then sometimes they hit perfectly and they double in size. That's 2023 right now with Mardi Gras and President's Day. I think. Don't quote me on it.
Yeah, I won't be there, so I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I should defer to Alex Sinek on any Mardi Gras questions.
Okay.
He's an expert on Mardi Gras.
Sounds good. All right, moving on to March.
Well, the weather, I think March is
Some
what
of my
is considered
favorite weather.
The perfect weather.
Yes.
Not too wet yet. So the winter is drier. We're still not to where you're getting rain every day. Doesn't mean it can't rain all day by any means, but you are getting to where half the month is after daylight savings, half is before. So if you like, sun in the evenings, that's a good thing. Spring break is a little thing that falls in March for a lot of people.
It's not 1 week. It's all the weeks pretty much in March.
It's like the second week of March through Easter, whenever Easter is, right? And if Easter falls in March, that's one of those wave doubling avoid. But so many people will have that off because a lot of schools get a whole week for spring break.
Yep.
And then some schools put a week around Easter.
Yep.
And so Easter is probably the third busiest holiday after Christmas and Thanksgiving. I count New Year's as Christmas, right? So March can get busy, but you got the perfect weather. They're starting to make sure all those refurbs are over that we were talking about in January. Almost all of them have wrapped up at that point. So you're seeing some really good things in March. I've done March numerous times for spring break.
Yep. I've seen you there in March.
I have. We drove around Animal Kingdom Lodge.
You were getting ready to leave. I was getting there because our spring breaks did not
we're a week apart, right? So we had the weekend overlap. And that's the thing. Spring breaks are spread out
across the country. So yeah, March can be a little crazy and you can get lucky during the week. But yeah, it can be busy if you're worried about crowds. But the weather is my favorite because my kids still like to swim in March. January, not as much. March, the pool's back open. I'm in the hot tub and it just works out for us.
The pools are open during the winter. They're all heated. But if they're going to refurb a pool, it's going to be over January, But that's not going to be every pool, every resort. One thing with March, what was I going to say? It was something phenomenal, Derek.
Oh, that's my word.
I had a thought. Oh, you still want to pack a sweatshirt for rope drop. You possibly will need it. It can get cool in the late evening, early morning, but not necessarily. I've had days in March where I'm already breaking a sweat when I'm rope dropping and days where I needed that hoodie that I take off about an hour later. I think that's fair, which is great weather. I mean, the weather where you have to debate whether you need something or not, and you're still wearing shorts, that's my weather.
I just want shorts the whole time.
Shorts. I'll wear a hooded sweatshirt with shorts
all day
year round if I had to. That would be my preferred status.
Yep, sounds like my 9-year-old. That's all he wears anymore anyway.
Anything else March-wise that... Like, there's no real decoration. It's just all regular park operations.
I mean, Flower and Garden is going on.
Yes, Flower and Garden's going. St. Patrick's Day is kind of
I've been there.
Epcot thing.
It is. It was fun. One place in Epcot to get green bear.
Oh, and you can get a green gray goose in France.
Yep.
And we've done that. So it wasn't quite St. Patrick's Day yet, but it was the last day the parks were open before the COVID shutdown.
Yep.
And so Michelle went to get, one last drink and it was green. And she's like, this is not what I ordered. And they're like, oh, we have gallons of green dye that we're not going to be able to use next week. So
here you go.
Everything was green.
That's hilarious.
They already, they were going to be closed for 2 weeks. So
times that we've forgotten about.
Little did they know it was going to be a touch longer than 2 weeks.
All right. Moving on to April. In fact, did you and I go last April? Was it?
Yeah. We
Star
went,
Cruiser. Yeah.
Yeah. We, hit my birthday.
We did. Yeah. Doug's birthday's in April.
National
Always
holiday.
a good time to go.
Yeah. It's right after tax day.
The weather is phenomenal.
Yes. Starting to get warm. If you like a little warmth to your day, you want to break a little sweat as you jog to your rope drop attraction, that's where it starts. April, it can be cool. We had great weather when we were there.
We did.
Granted, part of it we were on the Star Cruiser and there's no weather in space. But, it was actually hot on our Batu day.
It was, yeah.
Like we had to go get an extra bottle of water so we didn't dehydrate ourselves. This is where you got to start thinking about drinking more water.
Oh, I liked when you stopped at drinking.
Drinking more water.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, this is intentional. I've been coaching up speech team members on where to put the dramatic pauses.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Watch out, listeners. We're going to have more dramatic pauses on the show.
More dramatic pauses.
Okay.
So, Easter usually falls in April if it's not in late March, right? And Easter is, like we already said, huge draw for crowds. But hey, if that's when you're out of school and that's when you can go, remember, you got great weather.
Mm-hmm.
And you got great weather. And everything's going to be open that can be open.
Yep.
It's another good thing about April.
And still Flower and Garden, fun event or festival to go to.
Yeah. So we're a better place to spend tax day, potentially.
We rode Spaceship Earth, and they talk about taxes.
Yeah.
That's how you got to spend that day.
Person made paper in Egypt, darn it. And they also have Earth Day in April, which is celebrated at the Animal Kingdom. They do sometimes some pretty neat things, which corresponds with the anniversary of the opening of Animal Kingdom in, 1998. So, or 99.
I can't quote me on
We're,
that one.
We're not
terrible.
We're not a history podcast. If you're here for Disney history, we will refer you to the Disney dish.
There you go.
So, but that's important to, if you're going over Earth Day, I would suggest trying to hop to Animal Kingdom that afternoon. Kind of a reverse rope drop type strategy might be great, but they might be handing out a button or a special cupcake. Who knows?
Something.
There might just be a sandcastle.
Pandora. You never know.
You never know.
No reason. Love it. Let's move on to May.
May. Now we're getting warm.
We've
done May, Derek.
You know what I know? A lot of attractions, they like to open in May. Some new things are usually coming out in May.
Now, Tron's a little early. I was expecting Memorial Weekend, but they opened, Guardians of the Galaxy.
They did.
In May. That's one recent one. So they like to say, spring of, and May is when they're starting to run out of spring.
Yep.
And that trickles into June, but they opened Pandora and Happily Ever After the first time.
Yep.
That was all May stuff. So it's kind of a neat time. You plan a trip. Memorial Day weekend is a great time to go. It's actually not as crowded as you would think, right?
Yeah.
It's not too bad. It's
a great time. I love going to May. Well, especially depending on when other schools get out for summer break. Mm-hmm. I know we get out the third week of May, and so we've gone down that fourth week, and you can see the crowds pick up later as that June crowd comes in.
Yes.
But no one's missing finals or senior graduations and stuff like that. So May is a really great time to go if you can, even if you can miss the last couple of days of school.
Right, and people with little kids, they don't like to miss the last couple of days of school because you have all the parties and picnics and stuff.
Yep.
And what's more exciting, a trip to Disney World or a picnic in a park?
Don't ask my 5-year-old. Actually, no, he chooses Disney World.
So don't ask.
Depends on the
kids.
day.
Depends on the day, depends on the kid, but You know what I'm saying, guys. So May is great. I really enjoy May. Memorial Day, Mother's Day, Cinco de Mayo, they do special little things, not much.
Yep.
You might have like a special photo pass. That's one thing. They have little signs. Like we've held some signs on previous trips. We will be there in May on Memorial Day and the 30th. So May 30th, hopefully somebody comes to say hi to us. It'd be really sad if we have a meetup and nobody says hi.
I know Ryan Alexander's coming.
Well, he's getting on the Star Cruiser with us, so he's kind of locked in. It doesn't mean he has to see us on the 30th. He might be like, I'm going to need some space.
This might be our time to do Tron and mic you up.
We'll see.
We'll see. All right.
I watched a ride-through video.
I'm avoiding all those. Nope, I'm avoiding them.
Oh, I've watched one years ago when Shanghai opened.
Okay.
So,
don't do that, Doug.
Spoilers.
You need to go in.
But I watched it. I'm like, I don't know.
You're doing it at least once.
After the taste Guardians left in my mouth.
You did that twice,
I tried it with medication the second time, though.
Okay, put on medication for Tron. We're doing it together. We're doing it together.
We'll see.
No, we will see you on Tron in May. But then in June, our next month, beginning of summer has happened.
Yeah.
And this is where crowds can get inconsistently inconsistent.
Yeah, summer is weird.
Yep. I will be there the first week of June with my full family.
Yeah, and I think that's a great time crowd-wise. Way less busy than spring break. However, it's way hotter. Mm-hmm. You're starting to midday, and you're starting to see the rain roll in as you go through June to where you're getting that afternoon parade time. It's almost like we're going to schedule the afternoon parade at the same time the storm comes through. We cancel it. We don't have to do it. That's almost what I think their thought is. Okay. But
I could actually see that.
Right. Outside of Memorial Day, you don't have any big holidays that they really do anything with. I mean, Flag Day and Father's Day, they had just photo pass people that say Happy Father's Day. I was a little disappointed,
but we got our pictures together.
With a Nemo thing.
Yeah, we did.
Juneteenth, I know they have something. Not much, though. Probably the biggest thing in June is you see a lot of the Pride merchandise, too. The unofficial weekend, I think, is important to know. It's Gay Days is usually the first weekend of June. We've been there multiple times on a rope drop trip during that. No impact. June is pretty awesome overall.
June has been great. It's always weird to me where you can get like those random days in June where maybe all the locals come out or on a weekend. And so I've noticed that with Epcot in June, where I'm like, oh man, Hollywood Studios was empty as can be. We're going to hop over to, and Epcot's busy for no apparent reason except a bunch of locals wanting to come out and get some drinks.
Yeah. And that can happen.
Yep.
The weekends, I think, are busier in June.
You're tagging out one festival because the next festival starts in July, right?
I think so. I mean, they get long. This isn't really even a Diet Epcot anymore. I mean, there's like, what, a week between
A week
them?
in between. Got to flip the signs, get new food in.
I'm not sure what day Food and Wine starts.
It starts in July. I don't know.
A better podcaster would know the day, wouldn't we? June is great. The last couple days, though, can be packed when you head into the 4th of July holiday. So you got to be aware of 4th of July and where it happens. So speaking of July,
there you go.
Should we talk about July? How's the weather in July, Derek?
It's hot. It's starting to get hot, really hot.
Surface of the sun hot. June's like the warm up, like melting pavement, soles of your shoes. July and August might be just the hottest things ever, but other than that, you can manage it. You get up early, you rope drop, you nap during that rainstorm, and then you come back out and stay out late watching Happy Ever After and Epcot Forever temporarily. Boom. You avoided the heat of the day. That's why
July's a good time to have a good resort on property nearby that you can skyline or boat or somehow get to quickly so you can have some extra pool time.
Yep. And really the only week area to be aware of bonus crowds is 4th of July. Now, keep in mind they'll do the 4th of July fireworks on the 3rd and the 4th at the Magic Kingdom, and they are ridiculously awesome. So, if you want to travel the 4th of July, don't be scared off. It is the best fireworks show you'll see. Because Disney fireworks are already amazing. And then they go and they blow stuff up all the way around the park. So there's times you're standing in the hub, you got to look back towards the train station because there's fireworks back there too. It's bananas. 360 degrees of...
You've gone multiple times.
Boom. Done it twice, yeah. And we wouldn't have done it that second time if it wasn't fun the first time.
So I looked it up.
Yeah.
And the day you need to avoid Epcot, because I've learned this lesson, July 12th is when Food and Wine starts.
Every other park,
great. Epcot, I've been there on the kickoff of Food and Wine, and I said I will never, ever do this again.
They're slowly getting smarter, though. So you said July 12th?
Yep.
It's a Wednesday. So, they used to open it on a Friday, and then I think the day you were there was a Thursday, right? Now they've moved it all the way to a Wednesday. So that's got to help
a little bit. Oh, my gosh.
Oh,
Regrets.
My gosh, yeah.
Yep. I remember I was texting you. I was like, this was the dumbest idea I ever had.
And what did I say back to you?
You said, I told you so?
Probably.
It was the only day that worked to go to Epcot, and I was like, hey, it's going to be a win-win. And I'll get my magnet or something.
Didn't something open... What opened that you were at? There was like two things that kind of started that day, right? And you were at something at Hollywood Studios and then hopped to be able to go to the first day of Food and Wine. Yeah, it was
bananas. That was the busiest I think I've ever seen Epcot.
And that was with your family, too.
Yep. Yeah, that
wasn't like an adults only. Yeah, Food and Wine with the family. I would avoid Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday even, if at all possible. I mean, you can also experience Food and Wine from 11 o'clock to 6 o'clock and avoid a lot of the chaos, too. There's no rule on having to wait till the evening to start eating around the world. And you're on vacation, you can drink around the world, too.
Anytime, yes. Yeah. We even have a shirt that you can buy and check off things. So that's July in a nutshell. Everything's pretty much open. I feel like now that we're through the winter, all the attractions are back. Usually up and running and getting through the refurbs.
Unless it's a big refurb, like Splash Mountain's still going to be down for a year and a half, right? Or longer, Tron speed of construction. We don't know.
Railway was down for 4 years.
Callum's lifetime.
Yep.
Pretty much. Your son doesn't even know there's a train.
And he will be surprised when he does it in June.
That would be awesome. I hope you kind of can catch a reaction. I don't know what reaction would be better. The first time he sees it like there and moving on a track or when he's on it.
I will get both.
Okay. And then splice them together and make a reel.
I can do that.
Be a great reel. So July, it's hot.
It is hot, but it's not as hot as August.
Oh Lord, August. The August has some awesome things and some horrible things.
Hmm.
August, I feel like, is the best of some and the worst of some, all wrapped into one month. What should we start with? What's the best,
Sure.
Eric?
Yep. Because it's definitely not the weather sometimes.
No, it is the crowd levels.
It
The
is.
whole month is fantastic.
It is.
There's
Schools are starting to come back. Sports, like we now found out we can't do. We went August last year and it was
did.
great, but like we can't do that anymore. Like our athletics now kick in first week of August.
yeah, it's how that works.
Yep.
Welcome to older kids.
I'm learning.
Yeah, and so one great thing about August is the crowds. The other is there's no holiday that creates a bump. Like there's nothing. August is just August. And then you have schools starting. People are back in schools, especially across the Midwest. And then the other thing that is neat is we finally have our first decorations of the year. It becomes Halloween.
It does.
So you'll have your first not so scary Halloween party in like the second to third week of August.
And it's hot.
Maybe around the 10th or 12th. Plan your costumes accordingly.
Lesson learned the hard way.
Oof. I'd still worry about you sweating in that Incredibles outfit.
It was great. I still have that, by the way, with all the muscles.
You didn't. How does it smell?
You know what? It's fine. It's 5 years later. It's fine. But I do think it's crazy that they start Mickey's Not So Scary in August, but they want to make money, and those first ones sell out.
I remember when it started around Labor Day. Now it starts mid-August. It's
just like, hey, July 4th, and then next week, Mickey's Not So Scary.
Right. Almost like how it transitions into Christmas overnight, but like, it's crazy. August, no one's in a fall mood on a 95-degree day, 90% humidity in August.
I was there, I think it was the second day that they had the decorations out, and I was just like, it doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't even feel right. Your brain can't compute it.
It couldn't. I got off a cruise ship and then went to the Magic Kingdom, and there's pumpkins out.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool in pictures.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just something nice. I mean, if you've seen the Magic Kingdom in its normal glory, right? It's kind of cool to see it decorated in August. If it's like your second time seeing the Magic Kingdom, you've seen it normal, like you went in March or something, and now you're seeing Halloween Magic Kingdom. It's kind of cool.
Holidays at the Walt Disney World, as we get into the next few holidays, it starts to change a little bit.
But the worst part of August is 100% is the weather.
Agreed.
I think it's the worst weather of the year.
I will agree.
It's just relentlessly hot.
Can rain.
6
can get
a.m.
sticky.
6 a.m. It's hot.
Yep.
Like there is no, like we said in June, get up early, go to bed late, nap in the middle. You got to do that in August, but like you need 3 showers.
Mm-hmm.
Derek has to pack more socks.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I got 30 pairs for Christmas.
Still
and then they need
enough.
to last until August.
Well, I at least hope you pack enough for the Star Cruiser.
I will do that by 1 pair. Anyway, I'm not in your room, so you don't have to worry about that.
That's true. If you're using the blow dryer to de-stench your shoes, it's not my problem.
We have a different problem. Also, why is the Star Cruiser so wet? Speaking of...
You went into the climate room.
And something flooded. There you go. All right.
Blue milk spill.
September. School starts really coming back into session now.
Yes.
And so crowd levels can be really great different weeks of September.
Lowest crowds of the year, in my opinion. January has some really low crowds, but you have like Martin Luther King and the marathon that throw that out of order a little bit. So September, easily the lowest crowds. Your lowest crowded 3-day weekend of the year is Labor Day. 100%, because so many schools on the East Coast start the Tuesday after Labor Day. No one's taking their kid to Disney World on Labor Day and then flying home and having them start school the next day. So that Labor Day week is fantastic. I've done it many times. Once again, you feel like you're on the surface of the sun. That's the only
it wasn't that bad. You and I went last September. And it wasn't as hot as I thought it would be.
We were there the second, so not the week of Labor Day, but that next weekend, and we survived. I mean, we even put on like railroad goofy hats.
We did.
That Christina from Touring Plans had us wear for pictures.
And give away.
And some kids got them.
Might have
That's
to
why
do-
you come to meetups.
We'll do a meetup on the 30th, and we'll give something
We'll have
away.
Something. May just be free icing. We don't know.
Yeah.
But it'll be something.
Something for you. So there you go. September, great crowds. Weather still sticky, still hot, but it's getting better. You can feel it dissipate a little bit.
It starts.
Yeah.
There's a hint of fall if you're a Floridian. Not if you're from the Midwest. It's going right back to July.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then we move into one of my favorite months on property.
Oh, also Halloween parties throughout all of September.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Which starts to feel a little more natural towards the end.
So October, one of my favorite months to go to Walt Disney World because I love all the Halloween decor. Then you really feel like the weather is starting to change, but I just love the feeling of the fall in Walt Disney World.
It's the first time in months and months where you can be like, oh, it's nice out.
Mm-hmm.
Like almost a chill in the air that's not actually a chill. So fall breaks have become a huge thing across America in the school systems. Lots of schools get a whole week. I don't believe I had a fall break as a kid until college. College had a fall break where elementary, middle school, high school,
we never did
that wasn't a thing, right? Now everybody gets like a week off in the middle of October, and you can tell that it's just October is the new summer.
Yep.
Summer is no longer the busiest time. It's October, people. It is a lot like March.
Yep.
Lots of people. It's warmer than March though. And one really busy week is Columbus Day. Michelle and I made the mistake of going over Columbus weekend on our very first trip with kids. And on that Sunday, we're like, where did everybody come from? And we're talking like 2008. That was not a very busy time compared to now. And it was a lot of people. And lots of Halloween parties going on. Now they're like almost every day.
Yep.
It's almost harder to get a non-party day than a party day. All the way through Halloween.
That's about it. And I'm really excited. My wife and her sisters are taking my nieces in October.
Yeah.
So for fall break, except now I have to figure out what to do with the boys.
Well, they'll be playing football. So
yes.
Just let them
I'll
hit
be
each
here.
other.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Football season's in full effect.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Good old October. It's kind of nice for people from not the South. Is you're starting to have those cool weather. You kind of like, I don't really like winter. Winter's on the horizon. You can go down and be like, sun again. And then come back and then feel really cold, but it's kind of nice getaway then at that point.
It is. I do love going in October. Even though the crowds might be more, I just love the feeling. So
yeah.
Moving into November, Doug.
You no longer have Halloween parties.
That's good. Kind of, maybe.
You get Christmas parties.
Oh, yeah, another one.
Like
they got to make their money somehow.
The 8th or the 9th of November, those usually start, which means all the decorations are up in the Magic Kingdom. On November 1st, you'll start to see Christmas trees. So if you go over Halloween, you get to do both holidays to an extent. You may not be there long enough to do both parties, but you might be.
Just take a longer trip.
Yep, you run into daylight savings, so it gets dark. So be ready for that. You have a little bump around Veterans Day. Just a little one, not huge. And then Thanksgiving. A lot of crowds.
Yeah.
They're coming that whole week of Thanksgiving. Black Friday, I feel like, is the worst day. It's the busiest. Thanksgiving morning is maybe a little slower because you don't have the locals yet, but it's still crazy. It's bananas.
Days I will never ever be
bananas.
there. I'm glad you've done it for us.
Yeah, I've done Thanksgiving 3 times now.
Yep, it will never happen.
Maybe 4. We'll probably do it again this next year. Yeah. We have kind of a little tradition with our kids that we've done, and we enjoy it. We go to Thanksgiving.
We are
hop on a
blacked out,
cruise ship.
so we're not going on Thanksgiving.
That's sad for you, Derek.
It happens. Oh well.
Your blackout dates. So we hop on a cruise on the Black Friday, and we're good. Set sail.
See, that I would do with you.
It's fun. It's fun.
All right.
But the parks they're still fun. They're still manageable. Get there early. Have a good plan. And maximize your Genie Plus. Go listen to that episode so you know what you're doing.
There you go. All right. And then finishing it off.
The weather's starting to be phenomenal, too.
Yes.
November's
absolutely.
great
Love
weather.
November. Yep.
Similar to February, March.
Yep.
Because December starts to get iffy again, like January.
December's a little iffy. Actually, but you know what? It's funny. Every December I've gone, it's been nice. Because you can get those nice days in December, but
you can.
The crowds can also really start to pack up.
They can. Like midweek is usually pretty good in early December, but the weekends get crazy.
All the locals want to get their pictures with the tree and the characters.
Got to see the Christmas stuff, right? And the Christmas party is still going. And then, about the 21st, 22nd of December, it's Christmas. And it is people on people. I've done it. If it's your once-in-a-lifetime trip, and that is the only time you can go, that's good. That's great. Congratulations, you're going to Disney World. Just be ready. Have a good touring plan. Have use that touring plan app and optimize your touring plan, because that's a good way to go, really. And get up early. Be early in a rope drop.
Yep.
And
not a vacation
plan
time.
a nap. The park hours are long, so you can get that nap in the middle of the day when everybody and their brother is there. But it's magical too, though. We complain about the crowds, but the Christmas decorations have been up since November 1st. However, there's something about seeing the Christmas decorations at Christmas time.
And usually all the attractions are running. There's no refurbs going. It's before they drain all the lakes and the waterways.
Do maintenance.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you see water around the parks.
It is magical.
It is.
You can make fun of me all you want about that. There is something special about being there around Christmas. We've done a trip where we've flown home on like the 23rd of December. So like the kids got out of school, we went down for a few days. And yeah, it's busy, it's chaotic, but it's something about being there at Christmas. Like all the parks have something going on for Christmas. Unlike Halloween, where it's just the Magic Kingdom, like all the parks are into Christmas in different ways. Epcot is really neat with their storytellers. Hollywood Studios with their classic kind of decorations from like the 50s. Reminds me of the stuff my grandparents had at their house. And then the Magic Kingdom is just like the traditional, classy Christmas. It's just great. You can't beat it.
Yeah. Animal Kingdom's got a tree and some...
They project stuff.
Yeah.
And puppets.
Lots of puppets. All right. So there you go. So Doug, my question is, what is your favorite month and least favorite month, since you've gone to all of them?
For the weather?
No, all together.
All together.
Everything in.
How about we say that for last there? Let's do that last. Let's do weather, crowds, atmosphere, and then overall.
Overall. So you pick your best and worst month for weather?
I mean, my favorite for weather is March. Okay. Spring break weather can't be beat, in my opinion. How about your favorite?
I was going February because it's still cold in Nebraska.
You like it a little
and
cool.
I like when you get a little cooler here. So
you can get the jab in at the people at home.
Yes,
you can get away from the dark and dreary.
Yep.
I like that. That's a good way to go. That's a good one. All right, worst, August, because it rains and it's just miserably hot.
I was going to say September, but I'll go with August.
It's
like that
right there too.
Right. Oh, they're awful. I have sweat coming off sweat.
Yeah. All right. Crowds. You go first, Derek. What's your favorite for crowds?
My favorite is the first week of February, and I know. I know. I got to. I've done.
Love it.
Done it so many times, and we go end of January. Yeah, it's just incredible.
My favorite for crowds is that Labor Day weekend the week after it, when the East Coast is back in school. I love that week. Yep. Done it so many times. I'm there for it. I'll melt for that week. What's your worst crowd-wise?
I will never go back for New Year's. I want to, ironically. But yeah, that late December crowds really get to me.
Yeah, this is easy. The week between Christmas and New Year's Eve. It's just
bananas.
Ridiculous. The only saving grace I can give you for New Year's Eve, which is easily the worst day ever, don't go into Epcot unless you want to be at a New Year's Eve party all day long, right? Only go there for that reason. Don't go there thinking you're going to go to Epcot, because it's no longer Epcot. It's a New Year's Eve party.
It's been taken over, yeah.
Hollywood Studios and Animal Kingdom, though, on New Year's Eve, especially as the day goes on, are fantastic. We walked on and off, and this is 2019, before COVID, Smuggler's Run, which was brand new still and had hour and a half waits most of the days leading up to that. But we just walked in a circle until we were tired of it. And then we went and did Toy Story Mania. Like, we did so much in the last 3 hours that park was open. And then we got done there. We were staying at Yacht Club, walked back over. We watched the Epcot fireworks from that bridge by the Swan and Dolphin that kind of goes from the boardwalk back over to Yacht Club. You know that bridge?
Crescent Moon Bridge.
And the fireworks at Epcot, they blow up like everything they can find. They're just like, hey, what's in that box? Yeah, get it over here. And they blow it up, right? So it's just so much pyro. They put a tag. At that time, it was a tag on the end of Illuminations.
Okay.
And so I'm sure after Epcot Forever temporarily, they're just going to be like, hey, who has a box of sparklers at home? Bring it in, throw it in the pile. Okay. And it was just like flames and smoke, amounts of explosion. It was something I've never witnessed. The fireworks at 4th of July at the Magic Kingdom are artistic and a lot and overwhelming and wonderful and perfect. Epcot New Year's Eve is like,
blow it all up.
Hey, Joe, what's left over? Like, get it in the pile.
Let's go. Yep,
it's like a different kind of, it's like a middle school boy put it together.
You're making me want to go now.
It's kind of cool. I mean, you just have to know the crowds are like we're going to go on 4 attractions.
I would love to go without kids. That could be a rope drop radio trip.
That would be fun. We were with kids. We told them we're going to go on like 4 attractions today. We might see a show. And that was it. We had some downtime at the hotel, went to the pool, played miniature golf. We did like the relaxing stuff. And I mean, Hollywood Studios, though, we did everything that day in the evening. And it was great. It was great.
There you go. All right.
So that was the worst for crowds. And then I even still talked about how wonderful it was, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Positive spin. My glass is half full today, Derek.
It is. That's not normal. Okay.
I know. These listeners are like, who's this guy?
All right. And a best and worst for atmosphere.
The Christmas holiday decorations, I think, is the best atmosphere. And I'm going to say, actually, you're right, for the Hollywood Studios Christmas music and decorations, I like just a little bit more. Something about that big band jazz swing Christmas music just gets me holly and jolly.
Nope, I'm going October for Magic Kingdom.
Yep.
I love the fall festival feel with it. And so that's my favorite for the atmosphere. My least is actually the time I go the most because so many rides are down, so many water. I mean, there's so many years that I didn't ever see water around Tom Sawyer's Island.
Right.
Because it's always down. So that's the least of my least favorite time for atmosphere.
Yeah, when they're doing the general maintenance, like they drain the moat around the castle January. Yep. It's just like
I have a lot of pictures without it there.
It's not the same. It's kind of a vacation ruin type moment sometimes. It doesn't really ruin the vacation.
No, not at all.
But if that's when it works for you to go, it's when it works. So I think in the end here, every month had something great and every month had something kind of lousy, right? So it's a win-win all year round. But now we have to say what our personal favorite is, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
This is hard, Derek. This is hard. What do you want to go first?
I'm still going with February. Like that, I still love going. That even though we're not going this year, actually we're going to Aulani. It'll be a different haha.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, usually we go to Walt Disney World, and still my favorite because it does have a lot of meaning behind it as well.
So kind of two I'm debating here. Maybe you can help me decide. And nostalgia is important when it's your personal favorite.
Yeah.
So the week after Labor Day, we did a lot with our kids when they were younger, when we could take them out of school. Low crowds, could do everything. But now that we go at Thanksgiving just about every year, I have some great memories with the kids as they've been older. And I think going forward, that's probably one that's going to keep happening for us. It's Thanksgiving. And I think Thanksgiving at the park is like actual Thanksgiving Day it's kind of one of my favorite times. You have the Christmas decorations. I'm a Christmas music person. Like I'll randomly turn some on in like July to annoy everybody.
Okay.
Well, it's to annoy everybody in the car and be like, I don't know how to change it. This technology, even though I totally know what I did. But yeah, I mean, I'm a November 1st, I'm allowed to play it in the car person. And that's where we've come to a compromise.
Okay. Someone just turned off our podcast right there.
Or at least just send me a mean email. You don't need to leave a bad review. Just a mean email is fine, or a tweet.
All right. Well, there you go.
There you go. Best and worst months.
So, yeah, let us know what you think, what we missed, because I'm sure we missed something that you love about each month, and we want to hear from you. So go on to @RopeDropRadio and all the things, and we'll ask that this week. What is your favorite month and least favorite month to go? And if you want to book a trip anytime, because they're all great months, you should book a trip. Happy National Book a Trip Right Now Day. And you'll have to go to touringplans.com/travel and get a quote. Those amazing destination specialists would love to help you plan an amazing vacation, and they are really great at helping you with not only budgets, but what's good and bad for those months. And I'm sure every one of them has yelled at this podcast on things we missed and didn't cover this week. So if you want to yell at us more, again, @RopeDropRadio. But if you want to say nice things, please leave a 5-star review so Doug can leave it on air. We are going to get to the Patreon after show. So if you want to help support the show and help it keep growing, you can find that link in the show notes. But for Doug, I'm Derek. You've been listening to Rope Drop Radio.